Hey, can you hear me? Okay?
Hey, Kevin. Welcome. Yeah, on time. And we can start from here. Yeah, so we are on live right now. And I'm going to be the host for today's events. My name is Chris. I'm from DoraHacks. Welcome, everyone, to join the very first Moonriver Grant Hackathon's project demo session. Yeah, a little bit background intro. So this is actually the first time that DoraHacks to support the Moonbeam Foundation for Moonriver Grant Hackathon, and also this is actually the very first Moonriver centric hackathon that all of the users could use their Moonriver token to vote and support and grants and donates for the projects that they like who participating into this hackathon. Yeah, so this is very exciting, and also today we have 4 legit projects to join us for the first Moonriver project demo session, and they are Vulture Finance, Moonpush, METALAUNCH, and SvetIndex. And we are very also happy to have Kevin, who is from Moonbeam Foundation, and also Lucky from Hobby Incubator as today's judge. So yeah, so Moonbeam Foundation is the organizer and host for this whole amazing grants hackathon, and Hobby Incubator is the global strategic partners for this hackathon. Yeah, so without further ado, let's welcome the first project to start, which is the Vulture Finance. And for all the audience, if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to ask in either YouTube channel or Binance Live channel. And if we have time, we can direct those questions for you guys to the projects. Yeah, so Vulture Finance, feel free to start when you're ready.
Okay, hi, you guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So hi, I'm Abhijit from Vulture Finance. Just give me a second. Let me share my screen. Yeah, so Vulture Finance is a DeFi project that we're building.
Sorry. Yeah. Right now, yeah, we can see it right now. Cool.
So Vulture Finance is a DeFi project that we're building on the Moonriver and Moonbeam ecosystem. The primary value proposition of Vulture Finance is that it's the first Moonbeam native stable swap DEX. What we do differently than everyone else is basically we've built a protocol that's way more capital efficient and composable than most stable swap DEXs out there. And we think that building native from Moonbeam is important because there's a missing primitive there. So we've identified 3 broad problems here in the DeFi ecosystem, and particularly on Moonbeam. As I've said, there's a missing primitive with stable swaps. We also think that traditionally stable swaps and DeFi protocols tend to have extremely complicated user experience and interfaces. We prefer to gamify that and also make the process of engaging with the DeFi protocol more rewarding and entertaining for retail users, which we think is the best way to make sure DeFi protocols find mass adoption. We also think that through the traditional curve model, we've arrived at an eventuality where pegged assets and stable assets become fragmented across a bunch of pools. For example, there's several millions of dollars of Bitcoin just sitting idle on curve, earning zero yield. We want to solve this problem, and we think that Vulture Finance is a good way of dealing with that. So these are the solutions that we have for the problems that we've just presented. First, obviously, we're built for Moonbeam. We think that this is important because, one, it means that the Moonbeam community gets to get in at the ground level for all of these projects, as opposed to, let's say, like Curve launching on Moonbeam. The community would likely be more invested in us, and that's something that we want to work with. We want to be a community first and a community driven project. Also, Vulture Finance, the design itself makes it more interoperable than Curve. And this is fundamentally due to the differences between how Vulture Finance and Curve operates. So with Curve, you have asset pair pools, right? So if you'd want to swap between USDT and USDC, you'd have to go into a pool where both of these assets are deposited and trade between them. The difference between that and Vulture Finance is that Vulture Finance has single asset pools. So you don't as an LP, you don't need to deposit 2 assets at once. While trading, you don't need to look for a specific pool that has deep enough liquidity that your slippage is going to be low. You just need to deposit. You just need to go to the protocol, and you can swap between your tokens, whichever ones are supported on the platform. This makes it more interoperable because we have the benefit of being able to list the long tail of assets. Because you need way less liquidity to bootstrap onto the protocol, and you're also able to coordinate the risk and silo it accordingly way better than Curve, because of their bonding curve mechanisms and how ours is way more efficient. This also translates into improved capital efficiency because now you're not locking up 2 sets of different assets. You're just locking up whatever assets you want and earning specific yields on them. Yeah, so very quickly, this is a high-level overview of how the protocol works. LPs would provide liquidity in the stable coins that we support onto the protocol, earning Vulture Finance tokens as rewards. These tokens can in turn be staked onto the platform for a vote escrowed VFI token, which boosts the rewards that you generate on your stablecoin deposits. So now I'll give you guys a quick demo of the app itself. Now this is live on Moonriver. You guys can go over to this link and check it out. So my wallet is connected right now. I'm just going to our protocol uses this thing called a coverage ratio. Coverage ratio is the ratio of assets to liabilities of a pool, and it basically determines the amount of slippage that you generate on each trade. A slippage can either be positive or negative, and if you're transferring, now in this case particularly, USDT is an undercovered pool as its coverage ratio is below 100%, and USDC is overcovered. This means that if I'm swapping from USDC to USDT, I'd likely receive a payment for making that trade, which is the slippage. Now, like since the difference between them and like the liquidity is low, it's not likely to do much because like we're moving $5 from USDC to USDT. But once the protocol matures, this would be a trade that you would receive slippage for. So 1 second, let me just. Right now, right. Yeah. So this is the screen that you'd see when you swap. Shows up for confirmation on your wallet, and we're trying to design this user experience to be as simple but also thorough as possible. We want to make sure that users aren't overwhelmed with information, but are also not having the DeFi experience dumbed down for them. We think that there's a certain value in having simplified user experiences that are also at the same time thorough. So now I'll just quickly show you the pool functionality. Since we've swapped to USDT, we can deposit USDT into the pool. Now, as you can see, like basically this is like the base functionality of the protocol. We want to have the product live by the end of this month. Eventually, you'd be able to earn APRs from your deposits in these pools. You'd be able to stake your LP tokens that allow you to start earning VFI rewards. Those you can claim on this screen, and eventually you take these rewards and then you go to this sub page here, and then you get to stake them for your VEVFI tokens. So now VEVFI tokens will basically let you boost the amount of yield you generate, on your stablecoins. Now that's basically Vulture Finance and how it works. This is like a broad overview of our roadmap. We're currently almost live on Moonriver, after which we're going to we're going to look to launch on Moonbeam soon after. And yeah, hopefully like build the product out, integrate with a bunch of other DeFi projects, and eventually give control over to the community. This is our team. I'm the CEO. My name's Abhijit. I've been in crypto for a little over a year now. I've had extensive experience working with a bunch of DeFi protocols and venture funds. Nikhil, my CTO, you might know him from Poker Assembly. He's helped build Poker Assembly, which is the default governance platform for all Polka, Dot, and Kusama ecosystem projects. He's had extensive developmental experience in the crypto ecosystem, and he handles all of the tech at Vulture Finance. So thank you for listening. If you've come this far, if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them either on our Discord channel or over here. If you like this presentation and you like the idea, please vote for us at this hackathon. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for the detailed presentation. And Kevin and Loki, it's your time. Feel free to ask or comment anything from your sides.
Thank you so much. That was super impressive, Abhijit and Nikhil. Really, really amazing. I just had two questions. For one is, you said that your protocol mechanism is more efficient than Curve's. Could you talk about how you accomplish that and what trade-offs you had to make, if any?
Sure. So with Curve, the primary trade-off that you're making when you're not using Curve as opposed to using something else is with Curve, you obviously have the most liquidity you're going to get anywhere. If you want to like use Curve on Ethereum or something, you're guaranteed that you're going to find pegs that are sticking to $1. For example, Curve can handle 95% to 5% imbalance on a pool and still maintain a peg for a stable coin. But again, like liquidity that deep comes with costs. We think that this means like since you have asset pairs on Curve, you end up branching out your liquidity and fragmenting it across a bunch of different pools. As opposed to that on Vulture Finance, instead of having to deposit your USDC as a pair asset against USDT, DAI, and let's say Frax, you can just deposit your USDC all at once and earn a consistent yield on it across the whole time of engagement that you have with the platform. We think that this means that we're more efficient and more composable in the sense that you get to choose where you want to use your stablecoins, and you don't need to set them across different pools just so that you're able to deposit some other assets. Additionally, when you have single asset pools, you also end up having lower slippage due to the asset liability mechanism, the asset liability management mechanism. So essentially, the stable coins that LPs provide to our protocol count as liabilities, and the liquidity that we provide are assets. If at all like a pool is over collateralized, or over covered rather, slippage will be calculated in such a way that incentivizes people to trade out of that pool. This means that some kinds of trades are profitable for you, and some kinds of trades are punishing, and the degree to which the slippage scales off of the coverage ratio is exponential. So the more a pool is over or under covered, the more slippage you're paying or receiving. We think that at the end of the day is one, just making the protocol like cooler, right? It just makes it more fun to engage with. But it also means that over an average number of trades, you arrive at a smaller amount of slippage.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, and thanks for your introduction. And I have another questions. That is, actually there is an opinion that the most value of the curve comes from the algo stablecoin like UST, USDN. And how do you think of this opinion?
Right. So I mean, like in terms of tail assets, right? Like Curve's model is that you would have to post a certain amount of a pair asset to be able to list it, right? You also have this whole bonding curve mechanism that Curve takes up, and also like eventually when you have like a pool there, people can just collect Curve tokens that they've got. LPs can just collect Curve tokens that they're getting from their deposits, go stake it for 4 years, and then instantly become a Curve whale, right? We think that our protocol is a little better in terms of that because one, you don't accrue all of your vote escrowed VFI tokens at once. You accrue them over time. And anytime you choose to unstake your VFI tokens, your balance goes back to 0, and you have to start all over again. We think that this means that our protocol is much more whale resistant, in the sense that people who are using it are placed at much more equal footing from the start of the protocol. We think that this rewards equal participation across different levels of portfolio strength. But additionally, what we plan to do is have 2 pools of stablecoin assets. We have one pool for stablecoins that we believe have stood the test of time, and are able to maintain their pegs no matter what the prevailing market conditions are. These would be stablecoins like USDC, USDT, DAI, over-collateralized TradFi backed stablecoins. These would be in our risk-free pool, and we'd have another pool where we think that where we list riskier assets, stuff like algorithmic stablecoins. Like I don't want to say USD anymore because it's gone, but like eventually other algorithmic stablecoins that launch on the Moonriver ecosystem. And we think that Vulture Finance is uniquely positioned for the Moonbeam ecosystem because almost every DeFi project out there has their own algorithmic stablecoin. And we think that we think that all of the funds that are being bridged to Moonbeam will likely want to participate in this broad and diverse stablecoin ecosystem, which would necessitate the traffic flowing through Vulture Finance. And we think that through listing them in a different pool and only allowing them to be traded against other single asset pools that have a similar risk profile, you're able to silo the risk that you have in terms of bank runs and pegs being lost. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Chris, I think you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that thanks Kevin and Logi, and also thanks again Vulture Finance for the presentation. Yeah, and we can jump to the next project today, which is the Moonpush. Hi team. Yeah, feel free to start.
Yeah. Hi, hello everyone. Thank you very much. So I'm going to share my screen. A moment, share. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity to present our product. So I'm Hao. I'm from Web3 Go. So Moonpush is one of the product from Web3 Go. So we are doing the data analysis on Polkadot ecosystem. And the reason why we build the Moonpush is that currently we found that all the existing product for the blockchain, they don't have some any active push functionality. For example, if I want to know what transaction has some wallet addresses has executed, or what item has been sold in an NFT collection, so I have to open the Explorer. I have to open the OpenSea to see the transaction history, but I cannot get the information in real time. So with this background, we have developed this product. So as you can see on the screen, the vision is that we are going to push the notification for your consent data as you want. So let me go to the product directly. From the website, you can click this button, set push directly. And currently, I have already connected my wallet here. So we have supported the users, so the users can monitor any wallet address they want, and can monitor the gas spend, and can monitor the asset bridges, and can monitor the DEX. For example, I will begin from the wallet. So if you know some addresses, for example, some big wheels addresses, and you want to know his behavior in real time, so you can input his address here. And once this address is sent or receive some tokens with some threshold, like bigger or smaller than some amount, you can customize the channels you want to receive this. This information. For example, the notification can be sent by email, by Telegram, yes, even by Twitter or by Discord. So currently, we have already supported the email, the Telegram, and the webhook. So the developer can use our webhook to do the development. So, and we also already support the DEX. For example, we support SolarBeam and Chainlink on Moonriver. And if I select a SolarBeam, I can select any pair of the LP on SolarBeam on Moonriver, and I can define when the swap action is applied for this LP and for which token, which bigger or smaller than some amount, I can receive the push notification. So here I'm going to do some live demo because I have already some existing rules here. So I have two wallets here. So one is I have two wallets here. So I'm going to transfer some money, some over from one of my wallet to another. Yeah, with this amount. So let's wait for the network finish the transaction. Yeah. So you can see that I have rules already configured here. When the transaction bigger than 0.01, so I can get the push notification and I can receive it from the email and the Telegram. Here we have a Telegram channel. So this is for the demo, and this is for, okay, it's finished. So let's wait to see how fast we can be. So we have a private channel. So I configured it here for today's demo, and we have a public channel, and we have configured everything for the bridges, for the swap, for the gas, and for some important wallet here. And we can see all the real-time information happened on the river, and we are going to do it on the Beam as well. Okay, you can see that it only takes around 15 or 30 seconds at most. So I can receive the real-time push notification from online, even from the Telegram, from the website, and also from the email. Okay, so I think up to now you have got all my idea, right? So that is the first step. And the second step is that because there are going to be a lot of protocols, maybe 100 or 1,000 protocol deployed on Moonriver and on Moonbeam. So we don't have the bandwidth to write every single push notification rules by our own. So in the future, we are going to public our interface to the user. So how to say it? So if you can see that on the left side is the UI. So it is the same as this page, but the UI is defined by this piece of code. So it means in the future, once we are going to public this interface, so anyone can write these rules or the template of the push notification on Web3 Go's platform and deploy it on the river, on the Beam, or on our Moonpush platform, and anyone can use it. And Web3 Go will incentive all the developer and analysts who contribute to the Web3 Go, who contribute to the data, who contribute to the Moonriver. Yeah, so that is the roadmap and the plan for the Moonpush and for the Moonriver and for the Web3 Go. Yeah, that's pretty much from my side. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah. Another very decent project from today's demo session. Kevin and Lucky, it's your time.
This was amazing. My first question was if you were going to add additional pools, for SolarBeam and ZenLink options, but you've already answered that question by, mentioning that users and developers are going to be able to create their own exact notifications, however they'd like. So that's very, very cool. And it sounds like, will you be focusing on more developers for that, or will you be focusing on for anybody? So analysts or the general public to be able to write their own custom queries.
Oh, sorry, my network is not stable. Yeah, what is your question? Yeah.
Will you focus more with your custom design of queries? Are you aiming that more at developers or more like analysts or the general public?
Oh yes, we are aiming at the common users and the developer. So we want to decentralize the push things, the push notification to everyone, so everyone can use this platform on Web3 Go. So that is our long-term vision. Yeah.
Awesome. And so you're deployed to Moonriver. And did you mention anything about Moonbeam? Do you think you'll deploy this as well for Moonbeam as well?
Yes, we are going to deploy it on Moonbeam as well, yeah, in the future, because we have all the data on Moonbeam and Moonriver, right? You know that.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, team. It was a impressive project. And my question is, what is your business model? Do users need to pay for the service in the later?
Yes, it's a good question. So in the short term, we have limited matches for each address wallet. For example, we design at most 100 free matches per users or per wallet address. If you want to get more, they have to pay in Mover. Or in USDT. But in the future, we want to decentralize our model. We are going to have our own token, and we are going to use our own token to incentive the developer, the analyst, and the users have to pay a Web3 Go token to use the Moonpush or to view the dashboard. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So seems no further question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add it?
No. Thank you very much.
Cool. Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate your presentation, and thanks, Kevin and Lucky. And we can jump to the next project today, which is the DAO MetaLaunch, I believe. Yep. Hey, Aya. Feel free to
Hello,
start.
Sorry. My name's Ayolum. I'm from Kazakhstan. Will allow the community to. Thank you. Сюда, подержи. Yes. Держи. MetaLaunch is the first launchpad to be built on Moonbeam network with a dual NFT and token launchpad. Initially, we wanted to build our project in a Moonriver network, but we chose Moonbeam because of its potential. Apart from the main mechanic launchpad, we have implemented staking technology as a specialty of our platform's network, which will allow the community to mine our platform's tokens. A special MetaFund protocol will automatically distribute the mined tokens as follows, like I can see. Like 80% are transferred to tier 1 and accumulate there until it's full, and then they move to tier 2 and so on until tier 4 will full. So after that, in the personal accounts of the user, the withdrawal of tokens will become available, and it will be possible to withdraw only mined tokens, which is full. Here. And tokens accumulated in tier 4 will remain blocking there for 5 years, giving a permanent maximum guaranteed allocation in future either. And 10% transferred to the liquidation of the MetaLaunch to reward users, and 5% are transferred to charity, Binance charity fund, and 3% are transferred to the METALAUNCH to develop the project and invest in new projects on Moonriver networks. And 2% are burned. 2% are burned, making the meta token deflationary. That's tier system. Okay, and Tier 5 will be available to everyone in the More Meta and GLMR Meta trading pairs. Okay, можно найти телефон? Кажется, ничего не знаю. And tier 1 will regates in 20,000 tokens meta, and as it's impossible to buy SSR NFT because it will reward users. And also we are working with NFT, yes, with SSR, which will allow to community use them instead of Meta for participates in IDO, but only in tier 1. Кажется, наверное, сказала. Okay. I just want to say that we are on initial stage and we are still working over it, and I'm really not like competent on this matter, so I think I'm finished. I'm finishing here. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Very good pitch. I was wondering if you could speak about your marketing plan a little bit for how you're going to get the word out, and any social media ideas or just your marketing plan in general.
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Oh, of course. So have you thought about your plan to market your Launchpad and get the idea, spread the word out to the community, whether on Twitter or Facebook or the Telegram?
Yes, but honestly, I don't know about this project because I'm just like a translator here, and my native language is Kazakh, so it's quite hard for me.
You did a great presentation.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Hello. And I have another questions. In fact, the source of deal flow is very important to any launchpads. So, do you have any plans for this?
Yes, we're also working with oops. Окей, дай, пожалуйста, телефон. On next year, we are planning to open our meta market. It's for better services for authors, I guess. Yes. Okay.
That answered Lucky's questions. But anyways, thank you very much, Aya, for the presentation. You did a great job, like Kevin mentioned. Don't worry about the language. Yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Okay. Thanks to everyone.
Yeah. And we can move to the next, which is the last but not the least project today, which is the SvetIndex. Hi, team.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Feel free to start.
Okay, so, excuse me, I'm trying to control my slides. So can you see my slides?
Yep.
Okay. So SvetIndex is a decentralized finance solution for high net worth individuals. It allows to pull multiple digital assets into one kind of basket and then to sell and easily manipulate with those assets. Also, it allows to execute value investing strategy, which is especially important in a time of the bear market, because obviously, as soon as everything is going down, you interested to buy only those assets which will have long-term value, meaning whatever its value is for you, but for us, is generating cash and having very strong technology. We have all who rating dedicated to that. And then it's one of the major purpose of SvetIndex is lower and define entry barriers for newbies, because it's already like a third wave of these newcomers I'm living through, and I'm seeing again and again the same picture. People absolutely don't understand what they're doing, but they're doing that very seriously. As a result, they all ruined and go to their parents into their attics. So next is that's how SvetIndex is look. So you basically build the index, you name it, and then you can buy and sell it for whatever reason you find necessary. Then we have how it works. Basically, you cherry pick digital assets. This option is under construction. Actually, that's why we're rising, because it's like a lot of work. It's kind of make your own index, do yourself type of toolbox. Then you deploy index, and third, you trade. Who needs this index? We see our prime auditory is a little bit like all the people who don't really have all these technical capabilities, and they like to see one big button occupying like a half of their screen to push it. And also most of those people, they are kind of not very risk motivated. They're looking for like stable returns on kind of slow moving markets. Although of course it's not crypto, but when you have a large portfolio, you can trade back and forth. You can kind of simulate such type of strategy, which we do with our clients. Second is crypto dolphins, which trade large portfolios. I don't know how many tokens you have. I'm kind of trading like hundreds of them. So basically, that's a pain, especially, I don't know, you living through all these crashes, this crash which we are living through now. It's very nice to push one button and get rid of all the alts at once. And of course, it's costs you like a fortune because of all these on-chain expenses and fees. But that's exactly why we want to move to other platforms like Moonbeams, where the fees of the contract execution, not fees, the cost of the contract execution is low, because basically first we were like on Ethereum network as everyone else, but now that's crazy, of course, because you cannot just imagine you have 200 tokens in your portfolio and how much you pay for just one transaction, because 200 tokens mean 200 transactions on each of the networks. So basically moving to smaller platforms is our objective. And then newbies who also needs its newbies to lower their DeFi entry risk. Obviously, we kind of propose them less risky portfolio. They can buy in and then just stick to that. What's the market size? We estimate 2021 about $100 billion. Size is mostly dolphins. These 100,000 dolphins this year, or it's I don't know, if you go to bear market, probably it's not gonna be the case. At least half a million people, but we still think that we will have at least 100 to 100,000 pretty much trading, because many people now start to learn how to trade on bear markets. I mean, like taking short side, using all of type of stable coins and everything. So next is why do people need SvetIndex? It's kind of repetition, but it's more generally. So, as I said, to build a low-risk portfolio, to use exchange trading funds. By the way, that's that's kind of simulation, of course, of ETF, because ETF it's basically legal construction. We don't have because we are decentralized platform. By the way, we are DAO, decentralized autonomous entity. So that's one of our major advantage. We don't have legal concerns. And third, it allows you to trade to multiple digital assets at once, as I said. What is the next stage for us? As I said, it's do-it-yourself index. Then we have to implement for the leader. It's more like a learning, because as education is one of our kind of objective, and many people just don't know what to do. So basically, better to have a lead to show them what to do. And multi-platforming, that's our core. So we already are on the Polygon. We want to go to other platforms as well. So one more thing which I didn't mention just from the beginning, SvetIndex is just a part of the larger platform, which is a Svet platform. And I started this platform in 2017 as a Svet rating at that time, because I'm in the Silicon Valley, and I was kind of helping people to understand what crypto is and kind of explaining them, because by my education, I'm more like a coder, and I was looking at that protocol and valuing white papers. So I was reading these white papers and making all of this rating of white papers. And then steadily we progressed to rate projects according to our matrix, which includes 16 parameters. So our platform includes now Svet ratings, SvetIndex, Svet non-fungible ratings, and Svet value. Where Svet value, basically, it's a kind of small club of high net worth individuals, where I try to help them to dispose their assets, dispose their capitals onto the digital assets classes. Svet rating is system vision and execution tokenomics. I'm not going to be talking about that. It's too long a conversation. So what are our major advantage? Because we are independent crypto appraisers, and why it's so important. And I kind of keep telling that already, since 2015, 14, when I come into the crypto space. I always were talking to people, we need independent infrastructure of judges. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with governments. And it means that basically, if you have something like a Luna situation, it must be an arbiter there. It must be kind of ratings. It must be people going somewhere and having some independent third-party opinion. Now we have only kind of what people do, go to police. So that was my kind of life past 6 years. I was trying to push that to many people, and it sticks to some, but not with many. I was a little bit structured to Svet rating, Svet platform. Now I'm back to SvetIndex. So SvetIndex serves as a gate to high net worth individuals, provide contents to public group. That's what we do. Basically, we in the Svet platform, we publish a lot of different reports, information, and then SvetIndex serves as a benchmark or KPI for CFO. And because I'm talking about Svet platform, it's how NFR looks like. Svet value, as I said, I have 3 functions: following model, portfolio, pooling fund, and wallets. Analytics means you have your own wallet. And basically, that's our team. We have 6 people, 2 of them, one of Russia, one of Belarus, 3 in another in Ukraine, so we have a pretty good spot in Buenos, and I'm in Silicon Valley. We also have Victor and Enrique. They are in Spain. Our core is made of developers. Our chief engineer is Stanislav. He's in a different time frame, so he's out. He cannot kind of answer all these issues, the questions if there are any, but he can do it by Telegram. Then we have Sergey. He's our like a second, like a biggest head, the genius, but he's now fighting Russians with a Kalashnikov, literally. That's I'm not kidding. So he's out for time being, but he now started to be replaced by our second talent. He's Vitaly. He's in Belarus, but he can be recruited in the army as well. But anyway, we okay for now. So we are looking for 250,000 locked on the Uniswap, or maybe already on Polygon, because we are pretty much in Polygon. Okay, thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. Yeah, Kevin and Lucky.
Yeah, that was an excellent presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So my first question is just, what's your business model? How do you make money?
Oh, basically what people do, they provide liquidity for Svet, and then they can use up to, they can kind of, I wouldn't say like order, but they can receive up to between like a 5 and 10 ratings, meaning rating updates. What it means is that basically there is a group of analytics looking at your project from outside. So they serve you as a kind of benchmark. You can measure your progress based on this like KPI, right? And then we provide this content for, well, it's not like a specifically aimed to be content, but you can use it primarily as a content. So we write reports. Say, for example, if you have implemented new type of strategy or strategic move, you probably will be interested how your vision rating is changed, because vision it's our own like metrics. Vision ratings measure the reaction of your constituency or your enthusiasts, whatever you call them, okay, followers. And we do it independently, but we don't do it like this marketing agency who go there and blah 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 blah. No, we just take metrics and we just issue numbers, nothing else, just one number, trying to be as withdraw from your project as we can. I spent like 10 years being working for Big Six and then Accenture. I was an auditor. So it's basically like that's what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build like decentralized network of independent appraisal or auditor. But and the point for, sorry, I'm distracted. Your question was compensation. So again, we are compensated by projects or project owners providing liquidity for Svet. So by the way, they can withdraw liquidity, but because we have like more people coming, more people going, it's actually working.
Sure. Cool. And on the first or second slide, you mentioned that you helped with value investing. How would you, define that, or what would that look like for value investing?
Okay, but I tend to confuse my listeners by usually like bringing together everything, right? Svet value is different from same things. SvetIndex is just an application on our platform, okay? And it's mostly code. It's not mostly, it's 100% code. I don't touch it.
Okay. Good,
and it's just working independently. Svet value, it's more like investment club. That's people high net worth which are listening to my videos, reading my articles, following myself on all these medias, and they come to me and ask questions, and I help them to structure their portfolios like scientific way, right? Because I know we in crypto we all very weird, but there is like a Markowitz theory. I don't know how I was educated in freaking MBAs and freaking universities, right? So I'm trying to implement this rock-based mathematics to investing in crypto because it lower your risks. That's what's Svet value. Why value? Because there are two types of investors. One are they call themselves momentum investors, and the second is value. Value investors are represented by such famous figures as Warren Buffett, for example. basically it means that you try to understand what the real price is. Oh, sorry, real price. Yes, price of the project, or is it project which say, I don't know, you said you are $10 million, and next day you are $10 billion. Are you really? It's very difficult to answer that questions, but all these mathematics and value group, we are dedicated to understand whether it's true or not. That's basically short answer, long answer to the short question. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for your presentation, and I also have questions. I also see some familiar product like the index zoom and the index cube, but actually the user growth are really slowly. Do you have any idea and what's the difference with them?
Okay, I think you have two questions in one, right? You're asking me what's the difference, and second, you're saying that those projects, those indexes are used too slow, and I suppose it's a kind of question inside of the question whether this index will be using more. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so first question, first answer is absolutely not, because if you go to the, again, I come to the crypto from the outside finance. I was running all these funds and everything. So how do you know how many index funds are there outside? Do you have any idea? I mean, like outside of the crypto. That's my questions to you. Do you know or not? Okay, so you don't. But I can tell you it's thousands, literally thousands. So right now in the crypto space, we barely, I'm following all of my competition, right? So-called in index side. I don't have too much competition on rating side, but on the index, yes, there are like maybe a dozen, more or less reasonably structured and coded projects. At least 60% of them, they have no clue about real finance. They are only developers. So I'm competing more or less with 4, and I'm talking about thousands, right? What are we doing right now? We are building for future. According to the latest Bitstamp report, 70% of all the people who are now in crypto space joined us past 2 years. Guys, what are we talking about? What are we talking about when we are asking me, there are some other people with you, of course, but we are looking at such a big market, and we have to serve it, start to serve it right now. When we're going to have at least like maybe 2,000 companies like SvetIndex, then I'm probably going to be concerned about your questions like this, competition, or anything like this. Okay, so that's my answer to your two questions at the same time about the growth, right? So growth potential, again, according to this Bitstamp, most of the people, because they have like this, by the way, I just advise you to read this report. It was issued like several weeks ago. So most of these, like they kind of ask like thousands of financial executives, and the answer is that we're expecting this adoption in the next 10 years. Fortunately, it might be actually accelerated because of such crashes as we have today and yesterday, because that's how markets become mature. That's how people understand the value of financial advisors. Because believe it or not, most of you people, you are just maybe, I don't know how old are you, but looks like you are 20s or 30s. At best, you have no clue how difficult for like a general people is to manage their finance. And that's where we help them. And the more people like us there, the better. That's just the gist of it. More questions?
Okay, thanks. Impressed.
You're welcome. I'm welcome. Thank you for inviting me, by the way, second time.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you very much, the SvetIndex team. Second time join us, DoraHacks, as the project demo teams. Appreciate your time and contribution, and also your support for our events. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, guys, if you need any kind of questions, or maybe some, you can just like shoot me and I will answer, because that's what I do. I try to help as many people who are looking for knowledge or just for some kind of thing. I know I'm not saying you are not qualified. I'm just saying that's just like our universe is too big, right? And it's not important to don't know enough something about like everything. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
yeah,
thank you again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, and I think we can end it up here. Thanks all 4 teams that joined us today for the first Moonriver Grant Hackathon project demo session. You guys all did amazing jobs in this session, and it's very impressive. And I believe this is super helpful for not only for Moonriver team, the judges to better evaluate your projects, but also it really helpful for a larger scale of the community on dev side and on user sides to better understand about the whole project. Yeah, so great job, guys. And hopefully you guys could keep building, especially in such a hard time for the whole market. But hopefully you guys could keep building and kickstart the next superstar projects in the industry and also the Moonriver ecosystems. And also thanks Kevin and Lucky for joining us as judges. Yeah, thanks for all your time and the questions and also the wonderful discussions between you and teams. Yeah, thank you guys, and hope have a great night or have a great day, and yeah, see you next time.
Thank you.